Abusiamu adwomu akwa aba Fambra KFM TV esrebrene wie drenwme no nsia kase no asan so aye kase boy no twato wona wotwe mu no ye de mu nsem ne amane bo no e ba bedan wo kaye ho don hwe ba kontem we na yentimu nsumu ye na yensomo wosompa kaye ho e wo sa akwan ne sinti ubetimi nso akopie mu aba fontentan fidie no so KFM TV GH wo Facebook and afa YouTube so na wetimi akaye ho wo sa akwan ne so koba se ne wu pie free ufie akọ baby ahodo na enye fie na wote a wo hwe no a wotete phone no fa ya KFM TV GH Facebook YouTube no follow my ya YouTube no abomoden etimi a subscribe ne kama ede amaye na wetimi ababeka ebusua no ho nsem no edoso enanwumre na aboafo bi omadaroma ene wo musika na ebo ye chidom talent microfinance o mo se beji sika na abrabo a wo bo no enye boko mfama abrabo na ye din ye pa na nso bibia ye sika kwanchan ade ye fesika na ne de ye nti o musi beji sika ye besia ne de ma wo siwu kitwa bi ene de to ho ama wo obetete no teku da maka presempo akosi se bebo ano no na de aka echi na ba be ye odwetira o de ba bebo bra e wo man Ghana ho modwen ho nti dwumedie ni hihye mu sa na omudi agu akwam a wo mode ma Ghana ni bia ohia sika se be awabra ba wo bo no ebe ye kama etimi e de ama wo de wo obi sika no obi uni how na wo hwe ni mu se omonje ode ne sie nkra ne ye mfama wa talent microfinance omoye bi wono maso ye hokọ hɔ a omehihye sika sem ne yetimi dia ma my Ghana ha mantam dunsia ni mu no omatro apeti ensia mu eduru no mpanyifo guso a ye hihye ye de ben wono kɔ na omonye osika sem ne ye mfama KFM Musical Center ka aboafo ne ho bi eno so ye instrument ne ho aka de instrument bia wo hia bia wo ye nyumtuni wo my Ghana ha wo to nsa dia fro se begibie na fedi unyumtu adwuma no ene anyumtu akwanturo na awuto na bibia na nye kama entimi fama nkramantem a opo mechi akwan akopie mu Accra Zongole no asante mantem a wodi ene yedum omone Sambra Hotel no ena ebo enimhwe ukọ ha instruments ene ho aka de bia no betimi ama obi na bibia ye fine ede ama wo yemfre oni enko dadaba take up eno so ye phones ene ho accessories phone bia wo hie bia phone bia wa chidin bia fiti yam kosi iPhone okoda ba akachia obenye bi ede ama wo pe bi dia che wo pe bi yusu pe bi etu akwakoton ni nyina no ye bi e wona se wo hwehwe ne dia kopie mu okanehie no nkramantem mu he ya bia ye omo paita kwa station e hyen no dada ba wo ho obo adwuma pa wo ho a phones ne ho aka de bia no so be ma obi na bibia ye kama etimi edi ama nwumekuo miensen ne na nwumre ne ebre ne abra no mo esomas ne ma me ahoden na mesumitimi de nsem no ebre mu na mesumu yie somo osompa nsem ne do so na nwumre ye nhwe de edi mu akotene no ebi ye bekọ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na sie ye ne na ejumedie foforo kra nkofo bi no ba betu nanim a eba be ejumedie eba be bo man mu ni nyina no wo chese ne wo de ne support nyina eta ye chese ebe betimi aboa ama bibia netimi akọ emu nsem ne amane bo no mede besomo ewo kase no so sanso ne ebebo eransem foforo mo stampede no see Elwak Sports Stadium Crimantem enams ma de hyensia femeti nanan monse do no soafo hwe mane mofra ye die so akasa ekirem se ono so ede ne support na beboa ne aban de na ebusua wo ho aka no medi nsense mesanse omoma wo mu no wo mahwe ama omo niema ne aka de betimi aboa ama omeyi bibia na etimi ede free ho sanso ye bebo ewra edwedie ensemo Dr. Kissel ato force enso afọ no hwe sika semo man Ghana ha wakasa na ne nsem no wo kyeremu a ka twitwiri de do man no eso ano sombo 68 billion Ghana cedis a aban dada ni ja to ho no wo mba be yenhyehyeye ne ne megu akwema hwe etua sa aka na yi ni nyina efiri ho na bibia no etimi akoyi sanso ye bebore ni gide ensemo empanyufo nso kyerema National Theatre no omo kyesa ache ye pehu behia yesensa kraye mapa koso na ebu ama yesi ni twa ho nsem kan ye wo man mu no etimi fa ne ntima pa edi France ma foforo bi no meka we ho ne nyina no se ne mekan na don hwe ba ko ntem ka me ho na me fa emu nkyeremu ne amane bo no embe somo ena anwumredi no Afia Fosuah Oduahoma Sresrebidi for me Afia medame ho abasisia me ba ye boy ransem ni mu Minda since I'm more aqua, na mission, some na see ne you may, and farm out dear, ye call Ghana man penny, a catch any wakasa or chim say, Kofo Kobi, Eddie near mania the straight bebina, na bebe dine, na ninano, or more shen say, ye be brat or ye my mono, or more dear, ye median for fronis from cockrabe by no. Ferry services a hold on or mobile bay, na could one answer said the potocas, Becca say, shank a sear pa. I know yes we shiny be babe fire cars a hodo nipa ni afi near man who do bebre na free or my moesi mi akokwa my foforo so be brain crew twa hodo e ben ye nyina no ne no nkrofo binum na dia distrede aba ono so chem se wodi ni supporting na tai sa adwumedie na chi ama bibia na akoye na enum na o che se wa hwe asoya no hwe ya hyenti ade bo ho nsem so mo so nka ho bi na afen so tema port mo nyina panyi form nsan hyemu na dwumedie mu a wo pese mo ye e wotema ne potamu no bibia ntimi enkoso ye pepepe mu nsem ne amanebo a wodi tudwa no ye nto aso sei enfama.
A private sector maritime operator just recently has approached us to establish a ferry service for countries on the West African coast to be located here in Tema. The ferries will carry vehicles, passengers, and goods between Ghana and other West African states. Indeed, they called on me and I referred them to the Minister of Transport and also to the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. If you go to Europe, you know what the ferries are. You can drive your car onto a ferry and then it will sail to Apapa in Nigeria and you drive off and go straight into Lagos or wherever you're going. It can take trucks carrying cargo, it can take passengers. And so if we have that service, it would help supplement sending cargo always by road. You can go by ferry with your goods to Nigeria and avoid all the checkpoints where you have to pay small VAT to all kinds of officers. When I say VAT, you understand what I mean. Value added tax. And so we'll give him all the encouragement to be able to establish this service so that we can increase the exchange of
Freeway ni enko Ghana man penny ono ankasa ne ho kani ma melody na mahama ono so akache ene maami akasa ne nsem nyina no wo kyeremu a wo be pie mu o man Ghana ha ye yade a friend is HIV/AIDS no ate say ye pa wo man Ghana ha fa nkofo bebre na nkwade free wo no mensem wo kyeremu a ene mantam ni nyina mu kopie mu obono ene ne mpotre mu o mo menya bi dose sen mantam aka ni nyina afi o chese sisi o mo menya yade HIV/AIDS no be se 334,000 enya asem ketwa ntani no frefre ye ebusuafo afin so wono ma wo mo hwe sankrofo koi titru ne maburo no mo no ma wofo eni achechefo se hu behia yi pa so mo ma ne do makoma pono so na nimdi a wo se omunya fa yade ne ho metimi e de adomo mo afin so bedwemu ncheche enkoso yi pa san se binu mo ha yade no matene nso no wo mu nim sunsuanso ahodo bebre na obi nya itimi de bre no afin so e ma abrabo ne kra ye bisi basa ehun sem kan ye ne dru baby ani abo ato egu baby so chese a wofo nyina fa nto makoma prono so achechefo bi a na nyina ye fa ye nsantumu bi se be betimi abo ani akweti ayade na se ne e tretre ko no eto betimi abrase.
HIV remains a significant public health challenge. Currently, over 334,000 Ghanaians are living with HIV. Unfortunately, the Bono region is one of the areas most affected. This is indeed a serious concern. But when we work together and through education, effective prevention strategies, and early testing, we can turn the tide against this disease. To the young people gathered here today, you are the heartbeat of our community. You carry within you the hope and dreams of your families and the promise of our country's future. Your health is more than just a personal matter. It is a national asset. Please take your health seriously. Take full advantage of the services available here today. Get screened not only for HIV, but also for malaria, hypertension, diabetes, and other conditions. For our young women, breast examination services are also available. Remember, prevention and early detection saves lives.
Ewusienda asiento ansem ne son konsem foforo mu fama odia kanema mpani abedi echi afimpi mienu ne aduonu na ojina muhim Frank Adema the New Patriotic Party MPP amenu kono Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia eya atorenche mesiye ewo Elwak Sports Stadium enkramantem we nam sumade hyensia afemeti na nanom onse do no de ya konsem akodi amabusia afi wo kyeremu a ehu behia ye pa se ya asra adwuma yeko no mo de nhihye ne niam afoforo kra beku akwam a se be ya de siye no ye koye nim na bi entimi ensibi.
I just want to remind all of us that yesterday a tragedy struck Ghana at the Elwak Sports Stadium, and I'm really speaking with a heavy heart as I speak on this issue, because young men and young women went to look to try to get a job, and in the process 6 young ladies, only ladies, lost their lives tragically yesterday. My deepest condolences on my own behalf and on behalf of the party to the families. They are grieving, their loss is very deep, and we don't know even what words we can offer to give them some comfort. But our deepest condolences on my behalf and on behalf of the New Patriotic Party to all the families who have sadly lost very dear ones. I think that the lesson in all of this that we can tell is that the military should review their processes for recruitment so that we can look at more modern techniques, apply some technology in the selection of these recruits. I think these are some of the lessons that we should learn so that something like this does not happen again. But for those we have lost, may their souls rest in perfect peace.
Ewusia meno asemeno no yen free hon consem foforo ma ye kodom kuma morma shebege fie nenra 2026 budget Dr. Fosuah Oduahoma for Sanford me sika semo hihye o man Ghana ha odiko pie mu o ma Ghana fo nyina ti bi nema hodo a afia ye ba besi mo ba beye eni afi sika ye akoma bo sika ye ba beboa mo abo man ne ho bra no odi ni nyina no ekotu bi ne idom kuma na ba monti na o mo kire mu se niema hodo bebre na o mo hye ho ba na wo se nkomo de ma ema adwuma ne niema timi koso o man Ghana ha no wo mo entimi enya ne sa pepepa afi ukopie mu onwumeku ahodo bia na o mo hia aka de betimi aboa ama adwuma o mo ye no ayemre na ye bokodi ama nenso besi na nya de se o metimi aya eno budget obegina okenkan kre no so ne namba bi ena de o mo hye ho bon so begina ho no so eno so nseme ne namba bi a emu nchemu ni amane bo ne sei ena dom kuma no wo mo editu eja.
Since this administration came into office, the budgets that they have presented to this House, to Parliament, 2025 budget and the mid-year budget, allocations for capital expenditure and goods and services remain unreleased, and workers across the public sector are paid but not given the necessary tools and inputs to work. This is what we call fiscal indiscipline, that you pay workers and yet you don't release goods and services to give them the tools and the inputs to work with. That is fiscal indiscipline in reality. Some ministries do not even have basic things such as toilet rolls and are unable to even provide fuel for government work.
Ewusi egusu agina sansem na dom kuma no kasa ya kosi se ye bosho mo hye ya fimpi mienu ne aduonu 9 2024 ye ba betro abani mu ene omo 24 wa economy a na omo bo ho dero pa ho ntoma se ne ombeboa ma adwuma etimi ebusu o man Ghana ha obi enye bia ye na ewiase asikapudo pa bebo man ni mu ama obi enye bia hye ni kotokom na unemployment ati se o man Ghana ha betimi abrase no womu chire ma ene ndisi ameni uko ne fra benwa ne tena asoso afre mu hyae no womu nye saa niema ne nyina no ntimi mfiri obosho omo hye yo ene ho nkro no ba ene 24-hour economy omo nye mu kapre bakra de bi omo begina yesono de omo ka ena afin so ye dan ye ni bu nkompo kohwe afimpi mienu ne aduonu 9 manifesto ni mu nso a ene no ya de se etimi bo ebra nse ho nsem no sei eno mo san so de to ija.
Administration secured the mandate of Ghanaians on the back of lofty pledges to transform the economic paradigm of our beloved nation. Yet, unfortunately, those promises have not materialized. You remember the 24-hour economy, which the government launched this year. This program was said to be a job creation policy with a homegrown formula. They told us 133, 1 job, 3 people, 3 shifts. But what has happened so far? Today, the 24-hour economy policy is a confusing mix of policy ideas with no clear implementation arrangements. The same youth who were told they will have shifts to work once this government comes to power continue to roam the streets without work, while farmers and traders complain of poor sales due to weak demand. The 24-hour economy program is estimated to cost $4 billion, of which the government is expected to contribute between $300 to $400 million. We are going into the second year since the program was launched, yet the government failed to announce in the 2026 budget the targeted tax incentives and rebates it promised to attract the investment. The allocation of 90 million Ghana cedis to the 24-hour economy for 2026. In fact, the minister said 110 million Ghana cedis for 2026. But if you go to the appendix, you will see only 90 million Ghana cedis allocated towards the 24-hour economy. 70 million of this is for goods and services, and 20 million of this is for capex. This can best be described as tokenism, given that the program is the main development blueprint of the NDC government. This, no doubt, is helpless. This cannot help achieve the program objectives of creating a 133 job model.
NDC ameni oko na Afia mu na ene omo ye nhihye bebre na hwe ni mu na ene kra no dollar no sisia no o de tutu sidi ne ho atim se sidi na ho de no ho aye de ye pa se ne nka ne na ese sebio kontomre meche ye sidi ya aye memremra de ye hwe enye ye ene omo chese o masiesie o maye ne kama ama se bibia na timi akoye NPP ameni oko ni kire se bra no mu fra ba enwa ne so no na chese 1 cedi per dollar no na ho nsem no ti say 14 cedis na neidie e be say 11 cedis na so mu chirema ekopie mu adwaman so adwumadi e wo se esefata se die no enye sa pepepe na etimi edie mutumi ni ahode ni nyina na etimi are na so no wo mu gina ni simpie ni apaso bia e so no de o mu ka so ma ya ade ama na emom no ukopie mu obia ya ye di cedi ni di dwuma ankasa a dollar ni deda ho atimu say enye ade se etimi ekoye krai mu nchemu ni nsem a mo san so di tudwa.
Despite these burdensome and costly interventions, which have reduced the cedi's value from approximately 14 Ghana cedis on 6 January 2025, when the MPP left government, to almost 11 Ghana cedis per dollar, the gains they are making from this heavy intervention are disappointingly modest and fundamentally unsustainable. With the significant billions of dollars of interventions, we expected the rate to be around 8 cedis to $1. But the market's muted response reveals a sophisticated understanding that currency strength cannot be purchased. It must be earned through sound economic fundamentals. Members of the press, Did it not prick your conscience when, in touting the government management of the city, the minister used the exchange rate for November 2024? The exchange rate for November 2024 of 16 Ghana cedis to a dollar to show the unprecedented levels of appreciation in our local currency, instead of the rate of $14 cedis to the dollar on January 6, 2025. Did it not prick your conscience? Ladies and gentlemen, this propaganda management of the economy is becoming far too much at best. Merely repeating an untruth does not make it the truth.
Ebusi egusu agira nsem ni mu no mo de to dwa nkyeremu ni nyina ne se ne ukopie bu onwumeku ahodo a edwumayefo ndi omo wo ho ne nso no niema e wo se mpanyifo jai mu mo so edwuma omo ye no etimi ye mrede mo no enya de se wo no metimi aya ma edwuma ho nsem no akwakoye bibie omo ye mum ne mum akade ebetimi aboa na ho nsem na ye ntentem na ye ahohare so dia mo no enya de se mpanyifo etimi aye bida e wo sa kwan no eso.
Since this administration came into office, the budgets that they have presented to this House, to Parliament, 2025 budget and the mid-year budget, allocations for capital expenditure and goods and services remain unreleased, and workers across the public sector are paid but not given the necessary tools and inputs to work. This is what we call fiscal indiscipline, that you pay workers and yet you don't release goods and services to give them the tools and the inputs to work with. That is fiscal indiscipline in reality. Some ministries do not even have basic things, such as toilet rolls, and are unable to even provide fuel for government work. A close look at the data presented in the 2026 budget confirmed the fear by the minority early this year that this government was incapable of implementing its programs they presented in the 2025 budget. For example, goods and services. The government programmed to spend 5.1 billion Ghana cedis from Q1 to Q3, but ended up spending only 3.8 billion Ghana cedis. This compares to the annual allocation of 6.7 billion Ghana cedis. The amount released for goods and services is about 56% of the total allocation for the year. Yet the year has come to an end already.
Say friends asensen from farmer dia mama Agnes na momola te wono na yeswa for hwe ma ne afi mofra ye die so man Ghana ha na yare wo semo esi ye wo Elwak Sports Stadium bra na mebunu bi kohwe se o metimi akoka ye asre adwuma yeko ne ho na bibia na timi akoye wono mafa fofia nto atenam so ma de hye ensia fa muti na nanom onsie do no ba kwa na okan ho aye friend se Priscilla Labi ene okopie mu ebusua no wonom na ase a ode ya konsem komo mo che se aban ene etu omo bofo se omo behwe ma bibia ne ntimi nkoye fa ne sikasem ne afi support ahodo mu hia a ebetimi aboa ama makope Priscilla echi krabra enu nti ene ometu ho anamon a etise nchemu a maame na momola te wode tu dwa no eni
yera a oye nyina ye mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ena wasuma yen ebusua ho se yemra na yene mum betina se aseme wo mu ne se some few days ago yankote asempa ewo yema anka omo pese omo ko eko rap soja jumedi mu na omo besom oman no na asem no koyo hawo ade ni siye no ye mampanyi agya ne oye nyina se waye ye nyina ye gya no waye obatampan so no otu ni nan ko ho kohwe nkwala ni nyina ema otutu niama ansa na okọ ne dwumedie eso na ade achi ye no na osansuma ame na amenua ema ye kohwe se nkwala no ho tisem na efide ebusua ade atom eni no ye be ba ebusua ho ni abehwe se ebusuafo nyina ho tisem na nsema ewo na no eno so ye di amam emrenti medi nchia kese efree His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, and a mo di share ba kope Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman ho edi bremu nyina omo pese busua nyina eti se asema atomo no enye busua kwa na ato no ba ato omamu nyina enti mudi hye no eye oman edi hye na ye mampenyi pese mo ho se oni mo ejina areho yi mu sese ne chiro konkro na aka kire yin no those who are mourning, no, we should mourn with them. And to this time, no, we are mourning with the family. The person who say you are not alone. The entire country, His Excellency John Mahama, and the government is standing with you through this painful period. Na ishishe woho ema nkwala omo aka baby. Ena omo prepare nyina no His Excellency say ojinemu omo hia emoa na yama yendi share befitting burial no obejinemu na oman no eta ebusu echi na yama mo befitting burial
Enyina sanse mi so na yenda ninja aboafo wonom krato ombra ye ba ye to ansem ne so ediama.
Yo, I'm for and then Yamama Kwaba at the bar, a KFM musical shopper. The Tosumi, no, who free a Kumasi Macom that Damono, a sunny at the bar at Dumino, Sabran Udu, a Sambra Junction, a Sambra Hotel, Quantana Sope. Now shop no any Sambra Hotel and the Dinsha anymore. Would the free Sambra Hotel, a woo sunny at the co, Nankane and Hagan Hono, Annie, a ho and a KFM musical shop. The Tosumi, no, yet be no fofro. Now the air can say, if you papa etimiche, the Odea sorry, the Ode grow agro ahudo. Juma de be a woody open here a young fiddy musical instrument piano, a KFM, and to say Ghana Muntie Asante Mai Muntie, a KFM musical shop, Anna Sabre, Yabian fofro Monochai, a war Premper the 2nd Street. We free all men come down and now sunny ediko edumno and udu Sambra Hotel Quantana so now what done on Sunny Faso oho ana KFM musical shop yi ewo yani Sambra Hotel ana ewe animo ye twa abrebia
gina mese se be proud ana se me ye dwa me free Kumasi edum KFM instrument store obi bi sasa se bo men fo dia what to know when you see that what dey near my papa ejina wanim na what to know say yes what to know bibi aka wakoma ni nyina free KFM instrument store Kumasi edum se mi gira na me to know ma bitimi nya ho me ka fi se fidi papa mu anim na mi gina no wo betro ye ko ma ya do se kana twa nanka kana ensemfu ayi
apno a edanson edimu nesan efeye padia eye Afrotino Doors Company Limited wo Afrotino ye wo apno biebi na de akwadare monum no eye metal turkey security doors aye wo single 1.5 and a double sizes yasan ewo metal and wooden finishing doors sa ope apno a ewo locking system bi te say central locking triple hook and a double locker a Afrotino Doors Company Limited and a maker for a diamond. Yasan our Chinese security doors are a single 1.5 and a double sizes. And into trending Chuchumika Nafa Hobedom Afrotino Doors Company Limited near Wonoma Pa Edemau. Sawope apno a efe a danso nesan edimu and a sawope wooden doors a di Afromosia Mansonia ana Redwood edi aye no Afrotino Doors Company Limited nkwa ana obenya bi ewo ho yesan ewo wooden interior doors a every Turkey ana China edi aba obenya nya ebi ewo Afrotino Doors eno nti wo twen den bra na oni Afrotino ambeye ejuma na yade a ye wo no mapa edi ma se wo pivot doors free eye de eja entimi hye ana PVC doors a eye cement doors ni nya no ubenya bi ewo Afrotino Doors Company Limited na de ye stronko ewo Afrotino ho ne se eye fiada enemim ne de bia no ye wo special promo edi ma ya tofo ina enu nti bra na oni Afrotino Doors embeye ejma obehu ye twa kwan ewo Basket Junction I ewo Spinters obetimi afreyen ewo ye homa trufo iso 0244 371 348 ana 0274 722 448 and I'll bet me so afraid I was 0256 321 708 Afrotino Doors Company Limited. Yes, it's strong, stylish, and secure. Afrotino Doors Company Limited, creating quality homes.
Ebusienda semu akwa babie mo brand wadaje ade amaye o KFM TV ye da siye pa se we fidie no gusu ade ha ye koto aboafo no mkrato eba ya gusu aka ye ho sa akwan no so ye concern foforo me nanwumrei e de ama o de ya de se ye Nuclear Regulatory Authority o mo panya o no eda no ye Professor Emmanuel Ampoma Amwako wono na aka se ya ne nsem no chede se obepie mu o mo no maka chi a dwumedie ne hihye ne niema bebre na nsakare mapa ba enei amai foforo sum na chese nkofo binum ba abde omo sabe ba be ka ho na dwumedie ne hihye mu no de omo ye no bibia netimi akoyi o chese omo hwe nu se ye Global Nuclear Safety Standards no omo sabe timi akabi nchemu ne nsem a onmanyamfo ampoma ode ma ye no ye nto aso sei enfama.
Industry is looking for a stable regulatory system. So when you have a regulatory system that can produce the same results from the same inputs, that is what industry is looking for. So they are looking for a regulator that can say yes and mean yes, and be able to stand to explain and to justify why he granted an authorization. And that is what the NRA is preparing to do. And through this project, we have had a lot of exposure, and some of our people have become experts in many different areas. And they are not going to be serving only the Ghanaian people, but also outside. Ghana currently serves as the vice chair of the Regulatory Cooperation Forum. We also serve as a secretary to the Forum of Nuclear Regulatory Bodies in Africa. So in the international front, we are making efforts to let the Ghanaian attitude and the Ghanaian way of life come to bear in whatever we do. Businesses should expect reliable regulatory oversight of nuclear technology, and that will bring forth value.
Ebusia ye concern foforo mu e dia ma na November bosume ne da neto sunu mu afie mu mentimu ase ne basabasa ye course ewo ehi police station ewo eye from Mantemu no enedue eye chief inspector e de Mavota Regional Police Command na eye Francis Gomado wakasa wo twem se omo a omudi bone fosem ne mentimu ase ne basabasa ye course no ene bebre na na omochi o mahomachi dun ene no omubowre mu wono ma na omoka ho bi ene se bi omo omkoye nsemensen fata nyina no omoso omopa echi besa ha se diokron ene ba 199 ai ne dua ene okasa esisi ano bese ediosonso 77 ene aso omumu amra na ene omo eba abedi ebinum so wo ha posifo ankasa ena chese omo ye hwehwemu mapa no na chese enya ade se omo ho wo sansem ni munti bill ahodo akwa mebinum sisi ade eya ha so eya hanso edioson 77 ena mpanyifo ba behwe amamra no etimi ne wonom edi.
As we are aware, we've arrested 191 of the suspects from Eki and its surrounding villages. At the close of the day on Wednesday, 12th of November, we pruned the number down to 90. 101 of them were released on police inquiry bail. As of yesterday, the 90 that remained, we put the number down further to 77. And we are arraigning the 77 before Magistrate Court 1. As part of our police procedures, we will not be able to conclude the investigations at this time. So we would like to the court to actually remind them properly so that we will continue with our investigations.
Ebusanyira sanse mi so na ye home so ye ba ye toa so e we dwedie ensem.
Fofra e dwaso ni o yanom e hyen a en use fuel we so yensesa oil ne wo hia ene ni key e hyen egumechi nyina eye lip moto Giomi anase nami eyemu bia won sabeka wo KFM Limited e wo Ghana ha lip moto abefu cars abi yanom emwedene sanso efe wa hwe interiors here ka hear me timusisi ya ne friend lip moto e was 3 modes of driving obetimi a switch so open temo a obe na sports mode so opese wo save your battery a obetimi use economy mode na so wo pentem na wo pe wo normal riding so a your friend a standard wo charge your battery within 6 hours a ebetumi di wakokoma ase aba metre 310 kilometers enti woni how ubetumi so the 3 hours fast charger a charge na mana you full bonama na wakokoma ase aba say no me try the aka no Giomi ni awo hia ne key make sure say key ne ben wa wo hwese na interior on it na black and white papa so no FSN yo wa hwe screen tentin e bo ma hu car no battery aka na ma hu mileage nso e so we so de etu kwan 320 kilometers and sana was charge we bet me a charge in 6 hours fast charger ya 3 hours abefu efidie yinso we bet me a drive in 3 modes a standard sports and na say economy so we pentem to say me a yanom choose sports what say we bet me to kwan fi hakoko base ama we battery ni bi so aka because a 320 kilometers we charge in 6 hours we bet me a full battery now when you fast charge and so 3 hours per you're set making sure so okay in the car when you saw wakem will be a door na start chili Giomi black and white makoma swat man san kawo de you check the aka no yeah no abefo de ni mu ba ko ni o de awunya no key making sure so key ni ben when you saw wakem wheel no f leather na ewo mu no so dance eye gray ni yo ma hodo mienu de ani hakakra ene de emu odu esan so was screens mienu we e ma information a hunya wo car ne hunyina ase besia bonyum papa your friend entertainment ya wo hia no ane e bes ubetumi so driving in 3 modes just like the others standard and I say sports so open tema car we so e betumi etu kwan akokoma ase aba 330 kilometers Ichema udu kra betumi jesi so no abonyum kakra ansa na edu wo charge in 6 hours no so betumi so charge no 3 hours if no fast charge eyinu munyina KFM Limited and they are big just so fraying near me sanka wo de ententem so open installment a high purchase and train one nase we've got you solid Yanume, on sabetumi aka fidie mu bia e wo KFM Limited. On sabeke fidie no na wotua no nkakra we unya no bebia age KFM Limited. Fraying ever sort out.
Medogbe na mi Ghana duko do ajakple hoduko kata. Mi echo nyanyu adeve na mi cho Talent Microfinance Limited Gajradopa. Mi wona susu savings adishie school buafo cashback ple bubua okata nenye be egajom de miagbo la letie tomegbeko ateun aho gadodo kenenye be egajom vivi la nenye be o gahia ola ateun ava de ogai kenehia fa
tanenye be mi foncho mi afa jom yo kenye mi afa gadodo nyawa business loan elemiashi church finance elemiashi salary loan elemiashi eye bubo li kenye personal loan nenye be mi foncho business loan a enye gadodo ikemie nana asichalao nenye be washigba keke alum elesue we have talent mi pepe gede nwo nenye washigba lesue ne woge wo keke gede ji to talent po monu ome nenye be mi foncho mi afa salary loan a enye gado mo mi kemi vuna mi afa jirudu dola nke ga nyo he ya va talent wo pay slip play bank statement ye kwenye nwi hia o na koko ho salary loan le rate mi to keke akeji church financier personal loan va nenye habobo masoli hama eji fufofo sankuo jitao olila ashibobwe keke ake mi aflegeno na no hem v choji nto jinwade vare kwereka mo npopo kai ganyu he ya talent kuna kpohe ya ole chagbagba na do tare talent bena wo gado mo wa anobo buenami akpenami
etibe ya nyafi ke talent la
talent microfinance jengo amegan shipe ape letina tejipo hotame
mi ape kapo mo enya 050-129-1298 alo 050-128-9119 talent woga kwamanu banto
Talent Microfinance, your channel of wealth.
And that's a more by Yentu ansem nesu edwedie mu fama dia Dr. Kesewa to force in photo sound for the my sika semon hye o my Ghana ha wakasa wachem sa fimpi mienu ne aduonu nsia 2026 empanifo ayen hye bebregu ho a eba behwa ma ya akwani akwantempon ne so etimi ate na dini na nsiesie mapewo se en bibia etimi akoso emu nhyem no ene nsem a odi to dwa wo sa amanebonim ne Yentu aso sei emfama.
But unfortunately, there's no choice. Because where we are going, if you do not tighten, you will crash again. And so something certain will have to give. You live in a country where your debt was unsustainable at high risk. You've just given haircuts because you cannot pay your debt. Your fiscal anchor is unsustainable because it's what is leading to the debt. And it has obviously caused a lot of problems, inflation, interest rate, and all to the private sector. And businesses are shutting down. To reverse it, you need to tighten. Recognizing that, yes, for sure, something will got to give. This construction that you are talking about is going to pick up in style. Because, for example, you recognize that in the budget we have allocated 30 billion cedis for the big push. It is nothing but construction. It is nothing but for asphalt and cement. It is for the road sector, 30 billion. Aside that 30 billion, we have allocated 4.4 billion cedis to the Ministry of Roads. We have allocated another 3 billion cedis for Road Maintenance Trust Fund. We have also allocated 888 million Ghana cedis, obviously for the purposes of building agricultural roads. So you can see the quantum of money going to the construction sector, particularly the road sector. So it may have contracted in the first half of the beginning of this year. Clearly that is the case because it was a new government. Things need to change. We were validating claims. We were making sure that jobs are being done properly and all. So it was slow, but it's going to pick up in style, this time targeted. And it is being targeted to growth poles, and building these roads will build a country. And so that will happen. But as for the tightening, it is a necessary evil. You cannot run away from the tightening. Something needs to be done. We need to return to a moderate debt risk of debt distress, which we are there today because of the tightening. So all of this needs to be done, and the private sector must benefit from it. Today, the private sector is briefing again. We can see inflation coming down, lending rates dropping, and all. Until you do some of these basic things and reduce
Ebi mosan so kasaya nsem no wo de kwa maye electricity company of Ghana ECG adwumayeku a omo hwe maye na mahode nsem wo man Ghana hatimi konanimo no na ebe kakre ne bede adwa se ntumu kakraba se ne ye yusu ye nkane ne ho nkro no ba no ade so omo pija mu kakra na numu na Ghana fo bi no mo eche se da bi esoso dodo sika ne ni soso pa na numu na Dr. Fosuah Oduahoma na echere mu se ne ye call so ha mabu pense aduokono no eye sa pepepe ne wo se ye no sene wasi etua no saa sika na omoji a dwumedie ne hihye bia woso omodi siesie ma nkane ahonsem kɔ nanimu no saa pepepe na wono mo eye sebi adwuma no omonye ne basa ne kwan so ai no nti we die odi abaso de pa ene be kwa ma mpanyifo mo da ECG adwuma ye kɔ no wo modem bo ne ahofama omodi ahwe ma so asoye no etimi akɔ nanimu saa kwan no eso
that there was some 500 million that was for some reason not reported. But where was the money going in the first place? Was it classified as revenue? Certainly no at the time. ECG may have kept it and they may have used it for something else. But now today they are putting it in the same account for cash waterfall mechanism. So it's revenue that is available to pay IPPs and to support the system. That's 500 extra. Yes, tariffs may go up. But tariffs going up doesn't mean it translates to revenue. Someone must collect the revenue. And ECG is collecting revenue. And I will not stop publicly praising the management at ECG. He is doing an excellent work, and that man must be supported to do the work that he's doing. If they were collecting it, where was the revenue? Was it available for the use? I do not think it's been overstated for us. And you recognize that when I made that statement, I linked it to the cash waterfall mechanism and said that they were reporting 900 million an average per month into the cash waterfall as their revenue. Today it has improved by 90% to about 1.7 billion.
Okay.
And for us, the key point here is how much they were paying as revenue into the cash waterfall mechanism for the purposes of paying the IPPs, of which today it has more or less moved from 900 to 1.7. And as a result of that, we are able to stay current in paying the IPPs. That, for me, is significant and needs to be commended.
Ewusi awasansem ni mu a na ye kasusura asese emine oman Ghana empanyifo chem sa aban dada omo free so ye the new patriotic party NPP ameni kwa eye kane mampani na nado danko ekufu adoni na bedi eche Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawomu abebuye no ene kade omeje bi ato hopa enumu ena Dr. Fosuah Oduahoma na kasa wo chem se ne empanyifo ohwe so mbedi ombetimi aye bia na eka no sombo 68 billion Ghana cedis abe so oman ni komu no Omashe etua ni nyina no etimi e de free.
Bernard, we inherited 68 billion cedis. And that is what gave us the fiscal deficit of 3.9% of GDP in arrests. And so, obviously, government cannot pay 68 billion cedis in 1 year. And first, I needed to subject this arrest itself to audit. To validate them and to be sure of the strategy that I will use to clear this arrest. Simple put, in doing so, the 2025 budget, I programmed 13.8 billion cedis for the payment of these arrests. So far, I've paid about 12 billion, and I have about 1.8 billion to go. I cannot exceed the 13.8 that Parliament gave to me. Now, in the 2026 budget, I've programmed 25 billion cedis, and I'll pay another 25 billion cedis, and then pay the rest 2027 and maybe 2028. And I expect that within 4 years, I should be able to pay.
Afia Fosuah Kasaya ni nyina na efa ya kwan ni akwantempon no eso wo chiremu eye 198.7 km Accra Kumasi 6 lane na mpanyifo hwe so mo beye no wo chese o enche kra kosisa abrabe yi puma kwemu be senfinhia no miensa de no mahwe aye kwan ni nyina etimi e de fe we che said that omampanya akoma pono so so behwe ama ya kwan ne so etimi ate na edini.
Had an express road in Ghana, and what we have, as we shown yesterday, was not just a road. It's more than a road. It is opening up a country, setting up industrial hubs, building access to new industrial enclaves and all. So people just see it as a road, but it's more than a road. It links the country in a way and build businesses along the corridor and connect the two together. Express road, you will pay. Trunk road, largely you won't pay that much. And even if you pay, it's a normal toll. But this one, if you pay higher than a toll. So the two are not the same. And when anytime you use an express road, you have to have an alternative route. The current road is the road, and the expressway will be.
So is there financing for the Accra Kumasi Expressway?
We are working on a financing. They'll say, what do you call it? Engineers estimate already out. But because they are going to go on tender, I cannot put it out because.
Are you looking for domestic financing or foreign loan?
We are looking for domestic financing. I have very little appetite for. Let me put it this way. We have budgeted 30 billion cedis.
Yes.
In the budget
for big push.
For big push, of which this is part of.
So any fedwe di ensem no NC. Ye dan ye ho abasisia ye ba ye wie bibia e we nigide ensem. Ebusia yento aso yire bibia we nigide mu fa maudia ye Dr. Fosuah Oduahoma no science kasa ya wo chrem se ne betimi aboa ma ye sini twa adwuma wo man Ghana ha etimi afa ne ntema pefra na kɔ nanimo no ye National Theatre no won kramantem e kɔbasa dwumedie kese e kɔso ankɔfo ko bebre na ne dom bo mo ho dom pem kopie mu ho e ma dwumedie ne bibia atimi kɔso no e ade se esi ho ache ye pa ntehu behia se mpanyifo hwe man siesie mapa etimi koso ye wie so dan ni kopie mu asantemantam nso a yetimi aye bibi saa etimi esi ho a ne nyina ne betimi aboa ama ye esi ni twa adwuma ho nsem no etimi akonani.
Right, Honorable Speaker. In 2026, government will rehabilitate the National Theatre in Accra. We will also commence site acquisition and design of a second National Theatre in Kumasi. Mr. Speaker, we will establish film fund to revive the film industry, such as Kumawood and other film associations. Right, Honorable Speaker, we will also establish creative arts fund for the arts, music, fashion, food, and other creative sectors. Right.
KFM TV no ye fani nyina no bra na wie ye kodia ne da KFM Musical Center talent microfinance and afi dada batek up so mo ebo ye chido me den sema hodo no etimi ebe somo uye dwedi nya ye to nsa dia for sanse bronya day ye frefre dwedi fo nyina asem bra na mo niema no ye ntimi bo ho deru emfa ma de wuton bia no behu yen a sika kuma bi na da ho abetua KFM TV Christmas don't come na ye de adoma to so aton niema ni nyina e de ama wo ne ya kosi January bosumi ye ba besi mu afimu 2026 31st January and ajumedie no e ba wieye nti bomoden na book your slot 0246239070 frey na any ending kita ho ne mboa wo e wo sa kwan no eso me ko edie me de asida PSA pa kwa ma affiliate concepts wo hwefugu ye hwemia ono na de maame nti wo hia bi all colors all sizes emane mema kente papa beats ahenema bibia African die misro furniture mu affiliate concepts na wontimi ndi wo akagine mu free number we 0240074809 and I say 0245044608 oni ndi nkita ho bibia efa dwumedie bia wo ye ho se ohia kente papa ebo ne wo fom afi fugu papa nso so ne ahenema eni beat ne wonkro no ba de wo frɛ na wɔbɛhwɛ ama bibia no ayɛ kama etimi edi amao edi no Afia Fosuah Oduahoma Sresrebidi frame Afia me sorry so na nche bia Enoch Kofi Adadevo or the sports report no ebebro macro